I like salad. Do you like salad?
Welcome to Canadian Salad,
a fun, factual, and friendly podcast about culture and integration in Canada.
I'm one of your hosts. I'm Hostion Ho from China, currently living in unceded territory of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations.
And I'm Andrea Macaulay, an immigrant from the United States, broadcasting you from the unceded traditional territory of the Lekwungen people, the Songhees and Esquimalt First Nations.
And you're listening to Canadian Salad.
We could do the whole episode as though we have a cold or we've been smoking for 10 years. Or not. Welcome to our episode, episode 4 of this season. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Today we're talking about a phrase.
Yes, we're going to highlight words that are inappropriate and kind of expand on why, because language changes just like we do.
Language changes, and language also sometimes create in a time that is not considerate enough. We all know old times can be very inappropriate in many ways.
They can
they create these words that in modern day context that can be very offensive, or even that carry out biases that is not good for many things.
Exactly, because in older days, maybe men or religion or government kind of controlled certain narratives, and they had very narrow perspectives. So we are in the 21st century and we are, re-examining those things. So I'm excited. What is the term that we're going to explore, Hoshin?
Today we're going to explore the term black sheep.
Oh, very interesting. Okay.
Yes. Have you ever been called a black sheep of the family?
I have not been called, but my brother has.
Oh, my brother too. Oh, what's up with brothers?
You know, I don't know.
What's up with younger brothers,
Younger brothers, and maybe it's a second born thing, or I don't know. But it was always in relation to the term. It would be like he was doing certain things that were unapproved by my parents, certain actions or behaviors that they felt were inappropriate or made him an outcast of the family.
Yeah. Black sheep is such like a bad word in many ways. It's a judgment.
Very negative.
Yeah, it's very negative. It's like you're the outsider. You're the thing that ruins us. In some sense, it's such a bad word. Especially, can you imagine you hear it when you're younger? Would be like such a confident destroyer.
For sure. And it's loosely used in conversations. It's like I've definitely used it before when I talk about other families or friends that I know. And, they're the black sheep of the family. They went against the grain. They just some kind of, it's a term I feel that just kind of excludes and pushes out someone. But we're going to unpack that. Yeah,
we're going to unpack that. And let's unpack it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's explore the origins, the meaning,
I'd love to learn the
considerations of the word, of the term black sheep.
Okay.
So let's first explore its origins.
Okay.
In entomology, the phrase black sheep originates from literal flocks of sheep.
Okay.
Most sheep
that had black wool.
Literally.
Interesting.
It's literal, like a black color sheep, because most sheep are white or lighter color.
Okay.
And occasionally a lamb is born with like dark or black fleece. And historically, that black wool was considered less value because it couldn't be dyed into other colors as flexible as white wool.
Interesting.
So because of that, a black sheep stood out. First, also the black sheep stuck out visually, like a flock of white sheep.
Sure.
And economically as well, again, it's less value, right? It cannot be dyed into other colors, less flexible. So in a wool market sense, it's definitely less versatile. And over time, that literal oddity became a metaphor.
Yeah.
So by the 18th century, writers were using black sheep to refer to like someone in the family, usually in the family or group, who was not conforming, the odd one in a family or group setting.
Mm-hmm. And that was around the same time that economically it was viewed as invaluable.
Yeah, yeah. In 18th century, there's like already a lot of writers using that word to refer to modern day meaning what it is. But before that, people already within farmer shepherds that already see it as like less value.
Okay,
They don't
gotcha.
want black wool to be like to sell on the market or don't want to buy.
Yeah.
So yeah. So just slowly becomes that phrase. But there's also another origin,
Okay.
which some people think is a little bit maybe too far-fetched. The Oxford English Dictionary traced like early, like kind of like a figurative usage back to Thomas Shepard,
Thomas
16th.
Shepard. No.
Yeah, Thomas Shepard.
Intended.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the
Did he own sheep? Yeah.
Possibly, because at that time a lot of last names are made because of so possibly, very likely that this person is a shepherd,
like John Blacksmith and
a lot of
Dolores.
A lot
dancer.
of English last names were made because of the profession. Yeah.
What would be your name?
I don't know. My name would be Hostion Gorgeous.
Hostion Gorgeous. Oh, I love it.
What would be your name?
Andrea
The Great.
The Great. Oh, no, but that has to be based on my trade. So Andrea Talks.
Talks.
I don't know.
Just shut up.
That would be amazing, though. That would be interesting. So, okay, sorry. Mr. Shepard.
Yeah, Shepard.
Mr. Shepard.
Yeah, Mr. Shepard's. His 1640s work titled The Sincere Convert, where he writes, cast out all the profound people, which the scripture brands for black sheep.
So the Bible.
Yeah, the Bible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I remember. Yeah.
The Bible mentioned. Yeah.
Because
so
go ahead.
No, so like some scholar, because of that, also some scholars like point to the biblical and translation history is in the Genesis. I don't know what it means, like 30, 32, 33.
Yeah, chapter 33, verse 32. Mm-hmm.
Yes, chapter 30, verses 32 to 33. Jacob bargains to take dark-colored lamb and black sheep among the flock in certain translations.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some argue that early English and German Bible translations influenced the symbolism of dark or black animals. Like
for sure.
As marked.
Oh, for sure.
Or set apart.
Yeah. And even in the sacrificial system, so this is my wheelhouse that I used to bathe myself in. But the sacrificial system, God always wanted a pure and spotless lamb or animal for sacrifice because that was the most pure. So the whitest lamb, the whitest and purest colored of fur or animal, that was deemed as praiseworthy. So anyone with that had blemishes or darkness were considered impure, were considered not worthy. And even within the Mormon tradition, actually originally, Mormon religion also had this belief for black people that they were the cursed of Cain because they had a mark or they had darkness on them.
Dark, yeah.
And so it was, the Bible is full of these kind of color undertones. And like you said, like the English British translations or the German translations, it's no surprise to me that they had a very derogatory and view of color.
Yeah, but because of that, what you said actually is really on point because some scholars argue on the usage of like black sheep in the Bible because one of the point is because what you said, the early religions associations try to reinforce the negative use of black. Yeah. And also it's because so long ago, some things that, by biblical reference got mistranslated over time. There's some argue with that.
Yeah.
But I think it's also worth noting, though, that even though a lot of areas use black sheep as a negative meaning, in some rural traditions, especially in counties like Sussex, Kent, black sheep, England, black sheep were sometimes considered good omens or signs of luck.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, some shepherds in this area, like Sussex and Kent, actually, if they see a black sheep in the flock, they actually sees as a good omen.
I mean, that makes it so like anything that's rare usually has that kind of value. Like diamonds, quote unquote, are rare because and have great value because they're rare, unlike aluminum or copper. It's everywhere, right? So the value goes down. So it's interesting that the rarity of something as in some perspectives is like, oh, that's worthless. Whereas for others, it's no, this is really.
But I think this also like says that not because it's black, somehow it has to always be bad. Like even some some counties will see it's a sign of good luck, right?
Exactly.
So even early on, like I think the symbolism of black sheep is not always entirely consistent. That it always refers to something bad. So I think it's something that we have in mind.
Yeah. So
Right.
quick story. I just
on.
adopted two cats for my son
Yes.
because it was that or a Nintendo Switch and we don't want a lot of screens for him. So one of the cats we adopted is a Bengal cat, and Bengal cats, if you've seen them, they have like leopard spots on them, spots and stripes. They're really cool looking. Most of them, the more valuable ones, are the ones that you can see their spots. They're gray, and then they have their black kind of like woven, blackened kind of tan spots and prints and things like that. Well, the last cat to be adopted was what they call melanistic. And he is a black Bengal cat. So you only see his fur, you only see his markings when the sunlight hits him. But he was one of the last to be adopted because everyone wanted the more visible patterns. But we adopted the melanistic one. His name is Pepper. He's completely black fur, but it's really so cool because he has this like undertone of like these stripes and stuff. I think it makes him even cooler than the others because you really you can't see it too much, but then when you do see it, it's pretty epic. So just saying that I value black cats. That's my story. You're welcome. I'll let you keep going.
It's okay. I love that you love your black cat.
I do. He's amazing. His name is Pepper.
Pepper. Salt and pepper.
Surprise. My son.
Anyway, let's continue. Now that we know the origin of the phrase black sheep, now we should explore the cultural meaning and even impact of that word. And I think we all know the meaning. It usually means black sheep means the odd one, the outsider, the one that's the bad, the rebellious one, right? And usually that word kind of invokes a lot of like exclusion, because usually, let's say if you say you are a black sheep of the group or a family, then they think you're not part of us, that you're the odd one out, right? And even in Hollywood movies and the cultural references, usually the black sheep usually is portrayed as this kind of rebellious, mad, naughty one of the family.
Negative. Yeah.
So very negative. In psychology, though, there is a term called black sheep effect. Yeah, social psychology has a concept called the black sheep effect, where in group members who deviate from norms are judged more harshly than our group deviants.
Sure.
Yeah. So if I am within a group and I somehow deviate a little bit more from the group, they would judge me so much more harshly than, let's say, if I am not in the group at all.
Right.
Yeah. So in other words, when someone is in our own group misbehave, we tend to distance or condemn more fiercely to protect the group's image.
Sure.
So that's what black sheep also kind of have this kind of social psychology in there. Yes. The black sheep in many senses is not just a metaphor. It reflects how groups, policy, activity, and inclusion works.
For sure.
So I think it's good to include that. And there's another thing I think these don't usually talk about is the metaphor also tap into deeper cultural association with darkness and whiteness and purity and deviation, right? Especially in European and Western symbolism, black has long been used in negative or ominous kind of sense.
Sure.
Like usually, as we mentioned, like in the Bible, right? A lot of, they like to associate with like evil, like,
impure.
Bad. Yeah, impure.
Far from God.
While white often carries connotations of purity, innocence, like wedding dress.
Value,
Oh, yeah, wedding dress always white, and like when you're
godly.
mourning, when you're mourning, you wear black.
Hmm.
The kind of color system kind of sips into the idiom and metaphors.
For sure.
So yeah, so over the centuries, of course, language internalized associations between like darkness and negativity, even when the literal reference, like a black fleece sheep,
Hmm.
was neutral in its sense, right?
What do you mean?
Like over the century, language has associated black or darkness with
Uh-huh.
negativity,
Right.
but the literal meaning of black sheep just means black fleece. Sheep itself is a neutral word.
Sure. Yeah.
Like it's just a black color sheep.
I'm just describing yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a
An
black
adjective
fleece,
and a noun.
sheep.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, it's just a black color sheep. It doesn't have any negative meaning, but because
Hmm.
how in the long term, over the centuries that we think black,
Got you.
we link black to
Racism.
negativity, and this
Yes.
word becomes more and more negative through
Right.
time. Yeah.
Because of that lens. No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's how we need to see this word in its most basic, in the cultural meaning of it and the kind of sociology sense of it.
Yeah.
We need to see the difference there. It
Yeah.
has its own bias.
For sure. It's good to know the origin. I didn't know it kind of, sometimes some of these phrases that you're not supposed to say, like we haven't done a word like peanut gallery, right? And that's a phrase in the English language that is very negative now, or was even when it was created. But often, sometimes these terms are negative because they started negative. But this is a term that kind of just was something that, in those early days, it was a neutral thing. It was like, we can't dye it, so we can't get value on the market for it. So it was very much this survival, right? Because everyone survived on their farm animals and what they were selling and buying and trading and everything like that. But because of Western imperialism, colonialism, racism, like all of these isms that conflated language and has created these very binary, white is good, black is bad. It very much impacts these phrases and what we use in our everyday language. And it's not something we can just be like, oh, well, it's just a word, or this is just something like, look at the origin. It's not bad. It may not be bad in the origin, but the implication and the tone and the context by how you're using it, that's what creates that harm. And people don't realize that. So that's my 2 cents anyway. Yeah.
Okay. No problem. I think that is very right, obviously. We all agree because, like I mentioned, even the origin of it is not unanimous to associate black sheep as a negative thing. Some shepherds, some rural areas sees it as a good omen or a sign of good luck, right? But right now, of course, I think unanimously the whole world associates with something bad because it's how this word has been used for centuries. Yes.
Yeah.
But because of this, a lot of critiques in using this word, as some of the things you mentioned about the bias, the color bias in language itself, right? I don't think black sheep is like slur, but language is always evolving.
Yeah.
And metaphors carry weight.
Yes, they do.
As an issue, I have alluded to it that these color biases in languages, and this makes this kind of word black sheep indicates and keeps enforcing this association with between black and negative,
Right.
or black as something bad, right? And even like there's a lot of word nowadays in English still carries use black as bad, like blacklist, black male, black mark, and somehow like white is a good thing, like white lie, white
Yes.
somehow is used as
Ooh.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this kind of pattern, using this kind of biased language, support this racialized association.
Yeah.
Of course, that doesn't mean that if you use it, the very use of it is very racist, but linguistic patterns is reinforce biases without us consciously knowing it.
Always.
And there's a lot of research also prove that. And even we just mentioned about like a word like blacklist, blackmail, or like white lie, like this word can unconsciously reinforcing that biases that's just in our everyday spoken word languages. And many writers definitely argue that even though the origin of it is very innocent, is the continued use of it that perpetrates biases.
Yeah.
And there's another great proof of it to see how biases works is actually in computer language. In a lot of
Really?
codings, or even in modern AI, yes, in a lot of computer like linguistics analysis found that black in computer languages usually associates with something bad.
Yeah.
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 Like a
I believe
black male is heavily associated with like assault, for example. And then if you use white male, somehow it's associated with something good, like capable.
Right. Oh, just do a Google search and you'll
Yeah.
see the
So
difference that
exactly.
the algorithm comes up with. Yeah.
Exactly. So in computer language, you can see how this black bias is enforced. Strong association differentiates between good and evil.
Oh, totally.
So that's another reason why we need to be aware of these words carry meanings, no matter how the origin is. Not to mention, this word, knowing its origin, we also know it reflects these historical stereotypes, especially
does.
if we talk about the origins of how the biblical origins.
Oh,
So yeah, so we need to be careful of using that word
For
if
sure.
we are to dream of a better, more equal world.
right. Well, and language is our primary tool of communication and making sense of our world and describing it and building it. So why
I
would we
agree.
be like, no, we don't really have to change language because language doesn't really matter? Are you kidding me? Language is
Language.
everything. And this is what bugs me too about people being like, oh, it's not politically correct. This isn't about being politically correct. I don't
Yeah.
even know. That's a term we need to unpack because that has its own connotations.
I agree that, yeah.
Yeah, but it's literally just being a human. It's literally just saying, I recognize that language and words have impact. They mean something. And unless
Yeah.
you've lived under racial oppression, unless you've experienced racial aggression from government, education, healthcare, cities, everything in your life, until you've experienced that, you won't understand how impactful words can be. It's just like, oh, well, everyone, you have to be just politically correct. No, you have to be accountable. You have to recognize that your words have impact and meaning. Just because you don't feel it doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
I agree.
My 2
Because
cents.
absolutely, yeah, like we
Yeah.
just mentioned, we're not saying that you are racist using this word.
No.
It just for you to try to acknowledge that this word had a kind of like unconscious linguistic racism.
Yes. Exactly.
You know, not intent. We're not saying that you're trying to be racist, but this word carries and associates
Yeah.
with certain biases and weight
Yeah.
that bad influence on the other
Yeah.
race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you just be careful of that,
Yeah.
of how you use it.
Impact is always greater than intent.
I agree. And that's another thing I actually want to unpack a little bit. Like maybe some people might defend that, oh, the word black sheep had its historical and non-racial origin, which is true. But the others also might point out that language shifts.
Yeah.
The language shifts, how we use it is also about impact, not intention.
Right.
No matter how good the intent is at its
never about-
origin. Yeah, it's no matter how good the intent is at its origin, how neutral it is. But in current day context, the word black, how it associates with negative things, it has negative impact towards a lot of people and continue to perpetrate a bias that is not right.
Yeah. If I told my son, I hate you, he'd be like, Mom, oh my gosh, that hurts my feelings. Well, that wasn't my intent. Yeah, but these words meant something to me. Yeah, but that wasn't my intent. I was joking. Like, what a jackass parent. You know what I mean? Like, you have to think about it that way. Like, no one can read your mind or your heart. And that's not we're not even trying to police people's minds and hearts. We're literally trying to say, reflect and just think about the impact that your words would have. That's it.
And also, more importantly, if you are not black yourself, how you feel about the word does not matter. You are not the one who been infected.
Exactly.
If countless black people feel uncomfortable and sees racial undertone in that word, then maybe you should just not use it because you are not the one who impacted. So why arguing with
I
people
know.
that actually be impacted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if you have to argue with Black people about their uncomfortability of using the word, then maybe that is actually racist itself. Using the word might not be racist, but if you argue with them about using that word, that itself is quite racist.
Right, right. Because it's just this privilege. Like, I should be able to use whatever word I want. It's a free country. Freedom comes responsibility. Freedom comes with accountability. Freedom does not mean you get to do whatever you want to do. It means that you have the freedom to be a good person and
It's
call
like you're not
yourself in
free.
check when you're not.
Exactly. It's like, for example, it's not free to kill.
Right.
There's things that we carry responsibility and things carry consequences.
Yeah,
So I think it's important to always keep that in mind. No matter what word it is, maybe today we'll talk about black sheep, but many other words, maybe in the future there's another word that about black people that is not,
Totally.
even the word blacklist or blackmail, right? Maybe some of your black folks does not like that word, then maybe just not use it.
Yeah.
Again, if you're not the impacted party, you don't have a say in it.
Yeah.
Pure and simple.
Yeah, exactly. So then what would be alternatives, Hoshin?
Oh, there's many
Just so we leave our
alternatives.
audience with like some, because I think that's part of it too. There are other ways. There's a million one other words out in our language that we can use.
Yeah, and that's the last segment I think I want to talk about is about
Yeah.
like alternatives and reflection. Because of course, like it's not really that black and white, pun intended, because language
But
evolves.
yeah.
Not everything is like good or bad in black and white. And language itself is evolved. So it's not like because we cannot use one word somehow, oh, this is the end of the world. No. Language has words come in and out, use and not use is all the time. So we can also just abandon that word eventually and use some other words. There's many things can offer the same meaning, like the wild card, the outsider, the nonconformist, which is a new one that I looked up. I didn't know
Oh,
that's a
really?
word.
Really? Yeah.
Because I
I've
Googled.
heard, sure, nonconformist, I've heard that more is related to going against the tide, kind of someone who's not going to just buy into what the masses are buying into. Like you're nonconforming. You're kind of doing your own thing and independently thinking. I like that. It's very positive.
Yeah,
many ways,
nonconformist. I like that word better. It's
Nonconformist.
very neutral. I love it. So yeah, there's many words can replace that word that we can use that does not have any culture, any color undertone or racist undertone.
Right.
And also, we encourage, I saw this when I researched, I saw this phrase I really like. Whenever there is a word that can be problematic, there's 3 steps to do it, to what to do about it is we claim, we place, and we flag.
Ooh, triple R time.
I quite like it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like some people, like for example, we claim, well, maybe in this sense not, well, it depends on, again, I guess we are not the expert on it, but some people, maybe some black folks would like to choose to embrace that term as a symbol of strength, individuality, or resistance. And by owning it, sometimes you subvert this kind of negative energy, like the word faggot. Many gays call each other faggot. Like we claim that word. Or the N word. A lot of rapping or even daily life, sometimes they call them each other that word. That is a great example of reclaiming the word.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other is we place, which we just talk about, use another alternative.
Okay.
If you don't want,
exactly.
If you don't reclaim the word, replace it. Use some other word that has similar meaning, and then just carry on.
Yeah, exactly.
And the last,
there's lots of options. It's called a thesaurus. So for those of you who may not know, there is this amazing tool in the language. It's called thesaurus, and you can just look up instead of black sheep. You can look up like all the words, and you could find out. Oh, those are great alternatives.
I agree. The last one is reflect. Reflect is, for example, in this particular sense, we have to reflect that not using this word, it is also just a natural course of how language evolve and adapts, right? We have to accept that errors change, language change, and it shifts. We cannot please every phrase, but being open to change is part of the cultural growth. And now we are offering that growth, that maybe we can retire that word, use some other words. Of course, that we are not saying that we should throw out every idiom or phrase with black or white in it.
Right,
But we can
sure.
cultivate this kind of awareness, which one carries the hurt or exclusion in specific context and which one are relatively harmless. And then use our judgment rather than this kind of blanket statement to ban all the words with black or white.
Right. No, for sure.
And that's the
for sure.
reflect that we need to keep in mind.
I love that. Yeah. I think it's good to always be reflecting because, like you said, I mean, Google is a word now. It wasn't 10 years ago. There are so many terms that are now in our language, and there are words that die. And that is a part of a language that is alive. That if language isn't used, if it's not changing, if it's not evolving, then it does die. And so we can be thankful that we can still use language. We just have to also know that it is heavily culturally influenced. It was heavily culturally influenced when black sheep was first coined, and it's heavily culturally influenced now. Like, it hasn't stopped. So if you're resisting, it's good to ask, like, why? But I like the 3 R's. Instead of resisting, reclaim, replace, reflect. Should come up with a little song ditty or something. That'd be really fun.
I like it. Yeah. I like that 3 R's.
Yes, yeah. This is really good,
Okay.
Hostion. Yeah, I really appreciate this. Yeah. And if you have any thoughts about the word, we would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us, hello@canadiansalad.ca. We'd love to hear just your impressions of black sheep and alternatives that you might use, or just what you thought of this episode. So, yeah.
Or give us a comment on our Instagram or Blue Sky.
Yes, or Blue
TikTok.
Sky or TikTok. Yeah. No, we
Yeah,
love having you. And we're really thankful that we've got new, old, and listeners just even listening to us. We really appreciate your time inviting us into your ears and head and home.
Please do. Please do.
car,
And recommend
and
us to your
bathroom.
friends.
Yes.
If you like your friends, you need to recommend them this podcast. And if you hate them, even more reason to recommend.
Even more reason, because we end our episodes with a Canadian salad pop quiz. And if your friends know nothing about anything, like, even more so, this episode and our podcast should be sent to them. So
Exactly.
we're going to end with the Canadian salad pop quiz. It's a fun way to learn more about this topic, but about Canada in general. And we're going to ask each other a question. Hoshin, would you like to go first?
Yes. Well, my question is not necessarily about Canada, but it's about the world. And I want to take a little segue about color. Yes. So my question is, what is the most popular color in the world?
The most popular color in the world?
Yeah. Everyone's favorite. Yeah.
Everyone's, I'm
Favorite
going to say
color?
red.
Red.
Yes.
Okay. Final answer?
Final answer.
The answer is wrong. Sorry. The answer is blue.
Really?
Yes.
Blue?
There's a global survey by YouGov found that blue is the most popular color in the world. It ranks as the favorite color in many countries, including USA, Britain, Germany, Australia, China, and Canada.
Oh, okay. Blue. Well, that's good to know. Some days I'm in a blue mood. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I want purple or yellow. Or
Yes.
something.
Yes, but even though in English phrase blue is like sad, but many people actually associate blue to trust and liability rather than in the blue.
It is a
mood.
calming color. I will say, if you go to a
Yeah.
restaurant and they have blue undertones, it's a very relaxed feeling, as opposed to like McDonald's or Burger King, where it's just red and orange. It's just very like, I need to eat. It's very
Yeah, it's like a calming,
panic-inducing. Yeah.
While in English, there's a lot of blue phrases that not necessarily the best. Blue usually seems like sad, or like
True.
blue films also means dirty.
Oh, see, yeah, colors have connotations.
Yeah, but then somehow, kind of connotation. So it's good to keep that in mind. Color
it
words
is.
carry meaning and
They
biases.
do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And colors as well. Yeah.
Yes. What
Very
about you?
cool. Well, my question is probably very easy. So we'll see. My question to you is also a global kind of a question, not Canada related, but related to this topic. What economic commodity was known historically as black gold?
Black gold. Coal.
No. Sorry.
coal?
Would you like another opportunity?
Oil? Like oil?
No.
No. I don't know then.
All right.
Coal.
Black pepper.
Pepper?
Yes. I mean, we're talking about like a long time ago with the Silk Road and like trading and like spices when colonization started happening in the Africas, black pepper was so valuable. It was known as black gold because it symbolized wealth and power. Like if you had black pepper, you were like prestigious. It was very much a sign of wealth because in particular Europe, right? Europe was colonizing and they were making things rare and valuable. So anyway, but yeah, it was very hard to purchase as well. I will say.
That may be long ago, but modern day black gold is crude oil.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is a while. Yeah, this was before we were drilling baby drill.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah. But good.
Yes.
But see, interesting. Black gold. Yeah. No oil. I can see that. But so there you go. Some positive. Well, I don't know if black oil is positive because of what's doing to our planet, but some positive color connotations. So, yeah. So that's our episode. Thank you so much for joining us, listening to us. We join us every Tuesday. New episode drops, and we love to hear your feedback. So, yeah. What is it? Reclaim, repeat, and renew?
We claim, we place, and we flag.
All right. Triple R it out there. We love to you
Let's
all.
do that.
That's right. Take care of yourself, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Talk to
Bye.
you soon. Okay. Bye.
Canadian Salad is written and produced in British Columbia, Canada by Hostion Ho and Andrea McCoy. Theme music is by Naver Avetyan from Pixabay.
This has been a good Janklin production.